Welcome to the Performance Banker Podcast. You'll hear banking industry experts providing unique insights and expertise to help bankers achieve higher performance, obtain outstanding results, and gain a competitive advantage. Here's your host, Tanya Gossage.
Hello, and welcome to the Performance Banker Podcast for this week. I tell you, I have been on an amazing journey of travel the past few weeks. And, as many of you know, I am a lifelong learner. And the thing is as you learn, you have to implement. And it seems like I've gone through phases of learning. There's times when I put things to use, and then there's times when I take a break and just learn, and don't put things to use. But I have had a massive opportunity lately to finish up some certifications that I have gone after. And I want to share that with you because how does it impact my business? Well, it impacts my business a lot. And so, as you know, I am a consultant, I am a coach, a trainer, a speaker, and that impacts you in a lot of ways. And so I want to talk about that just a little bit today. And in all things that we do, we have to communicate. And that's one of the things that I've done this past week. I finished up a certification in power scripting and communication mastery. And so the certification that I have just completed was in Bank iOS, sales fundamentals, relationship fundamentals, speed coding, and power scripting, and then communication mastery. So excited to have that behind me because it is going to be a phenomenal opportunity to not only for myself, but for my community, my avatar, my bank customers, as well as working with individuals that need to understand communication, how to communicate with people, how to network with people, how to work with your family, how to work with all people in general. And this week, as you can see, I'm in a hotel room and I'm going to a 2-day mastermind for the other certification that I have, which is in sales. And so that is with my Grant Cardone licensee certification. So excited to be learning and then being able to roll out some massive things in 2023 and looking forward to working with people. It's so fun to say to people when they say, "What do you do?" And I get to say, I get paid to network because I do. I have a company who pays me to literally go out and network on their behalf. And so I love people. I love you guys. And so I want to get right into today and talk about the 5 pillars of communication mastery. And that is number 1 being communication, number 2 being business, number 3 being relationships, number 4 being emotional intelligence, and 5 being leadership. And so how does that impact us today? Well, number 1 being communication, we all need to improve our communication skills. And how do we improve our communication skills? Well, number 1, we have to work on it. And we have to be aware of what we're saying. And that's another thing that I'm working on. I get so frustrated when I get on here and I start talking and I say, I am working on stopping to say that. I am also taking a communication class. So, communication is a very important thing. And we talk about positive communication. There's negative communication. We all have a dark side. We all have things that we say and we do that's all based upon our values and our personalities. And so being aware of those help us to communicate with our friends, our families, our colleagues, our community, our partners, and the entire world. And so, number one being how to improve our communication skills. And then number two being business, increase our reach and increase our revenue and increase our retention of the people that we do business with. Wouldn't it be great to be able to regain or gain the respect of our employees, our partners, our coworkers, and the entire business network through a higher quality of communication? Just being able to communicate better with people, being able to communicate the way they want to be communicated to, being able to treat them the way that they want to be treated. And there is a way to do that by understanding what their values are, what their personality is, so that you can communicate to them in their language. It is so powerful. Over this past week, this week-long training, it was so inspiring to hear from people whose marriages that were put back together because they were able to understand the other individual and the way that they wanted to be communicated to, and vice versa, so that they could have those conversations in a way that put their marriage back together. And then to hear from others who did that and having communication with their children and be able to understand how this particular child wanted to be communicated to, and then how this child wanted to be communicated to, because the children are different types of individuals. And, that even goes into the classroom. As teachers have a tendency to teach the entire classroom one way. And we can't teach to people, even in the workplace, in a training room, you can't teach to everybody one way because not everybody is the same. We can't discipline our children one way because that doesn't work for those that are action type people who have a lot of energy, those that typically get labeled as ADHD or ADD. Those kids are probably not ADD or ADHD. They are action type people. They're full of energy. They don't like to sit down. They need more to do. They're smart kids and they just need more to do. Where others may be blueprints and they need routines and checklists to follow, or they may be knowledge who are highly technical, very smart individuals that need things to research, or they may be nurturers who want to spend time with people and they love nature and those types of things. So you've got to figure out who it is that you're around, even in the workplace as you manage your staff. So understanding people is where it's at today and knowing how to communicate to them. So then number three, going into relationships, as I just spoke about, being able to strengthen those relationships. Number four, emotional intelligence, understanding how you can raise your emotional intelligence score. Wow. I have to tell you, we all need to understand how to raise our EQ score. Understanding the triggers that set us off. Here in the hotel this morning, I wanted to call for room service because I have an extremely busy day. And I called down there 4 times, could not get them to answer the phone. So I walked down there with no makeup on, my hair wet, just out of the shower with clothes on, frustrated because they weren't answering the telephone. And yes, they were busy, so I had to calm down just a little bit. But they knew I was frustrated when I stood up there and placed my order, and I was having to control my emotional intelligence because going to the lobby was not the thing I wanted to do this morning. I wanted it delivered to me. But knowing that I could control my emotional intelligence and what to do to control it was exactly what I was doing and not blow up on those people this morning. So when you know what to do, you can do it. And being able to raise that EQ score, not lower it, and knowing what people do when they go into the dark side of their personality, it just helps tremendously when you go and have communication or conversations with people. And then number 5, leadership, being able to advance your leadership competency. You've got to be able to be in a leadership position. Everybody is a leader. Some leaders are better than others, but you need to be a leader today. People are watching you no matter what you do, what you say, where you go. There's eyes on you all the time. And so you want to make sure that your actions speak louder than your words, but be a leader, be someone that you want people to follow. And so by working on your communication, that helps you to become a better leader. Ask yourself, think about these particular questions. How much healthier would your relationship be if you excelled at connecting? How much healthier would your relationships be if you excelled at connecting? I look at myself, I've even said I'm a master connector. I can connect with a lot of people, but the thing is do you connect with the right people? The people that help you bring business to your company, to your organization, and bring you the right referrals to help you grow personally, professionally, and financially. And how would being a better connector impact your career or your coworker or boss, your company? Think about that. And how would your marriage or your family life improve if you were a better communicator? And how would it make you feel every day if you were a better connector? And then where in your life do you need to improve your ability to connect the most? Those are some powerful questions today, but questions you need to think about. Communication is huge. Communication is huge. We communicate in everything that we do. We communicate verbally, through our body language. Communication, the 5 pillars of communication mastery. Number 1, communication. Number 2, business. Number 3, relationships. Number 4, emotional intelligence. And number 5, leadership. As I work with people in consulting, coaching, training, and speaking, I love to connect with people. And as I mentioned earlier, we all can improve in our communication. And I am determined that I'm going to become a better communicator because I want to communicate better through my podcast, through my speaking, to help create better relationships with people and create better relationships with you, and to help you grow better in your job, in your performance, and overall just to be a better person. And I hope that you too want to do the same. This is Tanya Gossage, your performance banker. And until next week, I hope you have a phenomenal day.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to download and subscribe wherever you get your shows. Find more content on our YouTube channel. Link is in the show notes. This podcast is sponsored by GossagePerformanceConsulting.com.